Good afternoon, everyone. So I'm audible now? The screen slides have come?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay, thank you. So very good afternoon. I would be presenting on developing sorghum and millets for industrial uses. The millets, they have many advantages. There are many crops and each having a lot of advantages in terms of its food value, fodder value. And besides that, there is a scope for to use them in many of the industries. So in the that is the one trigger which can help in expanding the area under millets, because so far we have been using them as food only. So here just I will show you the opportunities where the millet crops can grow like into different industries. So these are the major and small millets. I think you must have heard all these in your introductory lectures and those things. So I will skip this. And just a few slides on why millets are important when compared to other crops. The water requirement of millets, it is less compared to many the dry sugarcane and other commercial crops. That is one advantage. That way it is so friendly for the environment. Millets are friendly for the environment with less usage of water. And then the other advantage is you see the resources that are required, whether it is fertilizer or machinery or irrigation. These crops which are rounded, these are the millet crops which which use less resources, thus saving the environment for its growth and harvest. Similarly, in the emission of gases, the greenhouse gases, and you see finger millet, pearl millet, and sorghum, they emits the quantity of gas, carbon dioxide, non-carbon dioxide gases is very less. So both they are economical in terms of the resource utilization, and also they are friendly to the environment in terms of the emission of gases. So all these make give millets a special attention, and it shows why we should use them more. And we know millets, especially sorghum. I will be referring more to sorghum because it's already into many types of industrial uses, but it holds good for all the millets, as I show here. They can be used as food, feed, fodder, and fuel. These are food, feed, and fodder are very common, and which we know all the time. And biofuel production from sorghum especially is recently it is being taken up to a larger extent. And when millets have so many advantages, like it is friendly to the farmer, friendly to the environment, and it has many uses, then why the demand for millets is less? When we analyze that, the non-preference of millets by consumers or the farmers, the main thing is there is a difficulty in food preparation, and shelf life of millets is low, and usually there are higher social esteem with the uses of fine cereals than millets. However, now recently the importance of millets for health and nutritional aspects is being increased, so this aspect is coming down. So even it is now available in very good five-star hotels and other restaurants. And another reason is the industrial users are not I mean, they are not gone to that level, so that the industrialists are encouraged to use that, so that farmers are produced that there is a lack of awareness, we can say, or the correct genotypes that are may not be available for industrial use. That is one reason, and mostly lack of awareness that they can be used in many industries. The third reason is no, health and nutritional benefits. However, recently people are understanding the importance of millets in nutritional security and also in providing health. So when we see, for example, for grain sorghum, I have put it here. how it can be used and what are the marketing avenues for that. When you see the grain sorghum is produced both in Kharif and Rabi seasons, rainy and post-rainy, and also in summer. So rainy season sorghums, they have the tendency, if there are rains in the during harvesting time, there is a tendency to get blackened so that the quality is reduced. In that case, if it is caught into the rain, the grain is not suitable for food use. Then it can go for other industrial and non-food uses, like poultry to some extent. If it is blackened to some extent, it can be used for poultry, but animal feed it can go. And ethanol is one very big opportunity here. So Kharif grain can go for ethanol production. And also, since the starch content is also good in sorghum and millets, they can go for the starch, for the development of starch and other derivatives, starch derivatives. If it is blackened grain, if it is a normal grain, when when the harvest time is free of rain, the grain is good, it's normal, and it can be used for the production of other food, when food products, and also it may go for export also. So for Rabi grain can be directly used as a food, because the grain quality is very good. Rabi and also summer grain, the quality is good because they are harvested during rain-free period. So they can be used as food. And all the three types can go for feed grain, and rainy, like post-rain. Rabi and summer grain is more suitable for export purpose. So there are many avenues where the grain can go. Even the Kharif grain, if it is blackened also, there is a scope for using it in the feed and also ethanol industry. So when we see the pattern of utilization of the grain for different alternate uses, here these are the projections for 2050 based on the current utilization and current demand. So the Rabi season grain can be used as direct food, as human food, and this is the current utilization. And with the existing rate of growth, it may reach up to this level. This is the demand that we may have by 2050. But if there is some policy backup to promote millets, this is the scenario that is projected for 2050, provided we have some policy backup from government. So this is as poultry feed, the rainy season harvest can go for poultry, animal feed, and alcohol, as I told earlier. So these are the current uses for poultry feed and animal feed, even in the alcohol industry. And these are the projected figures for 2050. So the seed and wastage is this. So total, the demand would be around 35 million tons by the year 2050, provided there is some policy backup for pushing the utilization of sorghum in different industries. And to increase the production of millets or area under millets, what are the triggers, like why millet should be taken up on a higher scale? The first thing is the consumption, millet consumption, as we see during the last few years, there is an increasing trend because of the functional properties the grains are having, and their establishment as nutritional food. And then, that's what the trends in the health and wellness industries, with the increased awareness of its health and nutritional properties, there is a trend of increasing production. So this is one aspect what we have to bank upon for improving the millet production. And the processed food, this is a very great opportunity because, as I said, there is some difficulty associated with the production of traditional items like rotis from sorghum or any other millet, because the gluten is not there. So it cannot be made as we prepare wheat roti. But the semi-processed and processed foods like the pops, flakes, many things are available. That is one area where which gives an opportunity for increasing the demand for millets. And another point is they need very less water, because we know the problems with the water availability and how it is becoming a scarce resource. So in that context, millets play a very important role, and we can promote millets. This is one more trigger to promote millets. And similarly, there is a lot of the demand for millets is being increased, not just in the traditional countries like India, Africa, and things, even in other countries like US and Europe also, with the increased health consciousness and increased knowledge about the nutritional and health properties of millets, the consumption of millets is being increased both in US and Europe. So that is one area where we had to tap and for increasing millet production and demand. And here I've just shown that IIMR with in collaboration with the 3 AICRPs, now AICRP, Sorghum, small millets, pearl millet, everything. We are working towards improving the production aspect, and also improved cultivars are being developed, and the value addition is also being worked a lot at IIMR. And these are the aspects which may trigger increase in the production of millets. And then just before we go into the actual industrial uses, I just would like to say of how they are important in the health sector, because this is one important sector where millets are being used, started being used, and they will be having a lot of scope in future also. So the millets, they are the answers for many of the lifestyle diseases like celiac disease and diabetes, which is a very important disease which we have been hearing, and millets are answer for that. And also reduction in the oxidative stress, like because of the free radicals, the phenolic compounds which millets are high in. So they help in the reduction of oxidative stress. And many of the millets have the anti-cancerous properties. This has been scientifically proven. There are many reports on that. And also in controlling the blood pressure, that anti-hypertensive hypertensive properties of millets also. This is one thing which is triggering their utilization in the health sector. And similarly, for control of obesity, coronary heart diseases, like these are lifestyle diseases which have been on rise recently. So millets have the capability to control this many of the things. And yeah, there is a proof that the millets have low glycemic index compared to our rice, wheat, and in that way they are very good for diabetes. And these are some of the reports showing the importance of different millets for different this is just for information I have put there. This foxtail millet helps in the control of blood sugar and cholesterol, as reported in the pathophysiology. Similarly, the malting, millet malt. So they make some of the important minerals bioavailable to the body. And then the risk of esophageal cancer, it was observed to be lessened. This is in the history. There are many reports like this. And then coming to other millet, other benefits, as you see, they are capable of decreasing the level of triglycerides and also C-reactive protein. And these are the reports on that. And there are many of the millets show antioxidant activity because of the presence of the polyphenols and like in kodo, finger, foxtail, proso, and little millets. And because of this phenolic content, they are having that antioxidant, high antioxidant activity, and thus they can control the cancer, important diseases like cancer. And then this is the actual nutritional composition which has been reported earlier. I think you will be having other lectures on these things, so I will not go into very much details. Only my intention here is to show the millets are beneficial in one of the other mineral components like your finger millet for calcium, like the sorghum in magnesium, like that. So this way how they are suitable for the what is that, health industry. That's what my point of stress here. So similarly, even the products, I've been telling you about the grain, and the products were also uh, reported to have low glycemic index, right, compared to wheat. Sorghum has been studied, and the low glycemic load. So giving emphasizing that they are good diabetic foods. Similarly, in other as some processed foods also, there were reports showing that sorghum bran chips, the blood glucose level can be considerably reduced by using that in a more frequent manner. Similarly, this pearl millet is also found to be effectively help in maintain blood sugar levels and thus helping the diabetic patients. Similar, even in finger millet, and it is also reported to have low glycemic response. This is mainly due to the high fiber content. Then even in the small millets, also they were proven to be excellent hyperglycemic activity, anti-hyperglycemic activity. So here mainly what are the components that are contributing for this is the high fiber content, and also presence of phytochemicals and also antioxidant levels. So all these factors render them the properties to be good anti-diabetic foods. So yeah, there are reports that millets reduce the obesity and also lowering serum cholesterol and triglycerides, and also anti-tumorigenic properties they have. They reduce hypertension. There are many reports that saying that millets are good for the well-being of humans. So the presence of secondary metabolites is the main thing which is conferring that property to millets, mainly the phenolic compounds, like simple phenolics, flavonoids, tannins, lignans, and stilbenes. These are all identified in the millets, and they are giving the therapeutic and also nutraceutical properties to millets. And similarly, the sorghum, it's an example where leaf extract of the sorghum can be used, as you see, as a dietary supplement, and it was reported to be anti-aging, immunity boosters, and also they help in the blood levels. So this is another report, similar report, that they are antibiotic and they protect persons from against and diabetic retinopathy. So coming to the other industry, that was regarding the health industry, health and wellness industry. And as you see, it can be, millets can be used in the food, and also, as I said, poultry and animal feed industry, alcohol industry, and there are many other small industries where millets can be comfortably used. So by increasing the utilization of millets in different industries, it triggers the production, and also it encourages the cultivators and also industries and exporters to take up more of millet related activities, because they will increase the income of these people. So actually for cattle and poultry feed and also potable alcohol, the ground, I mean, there is very well established procedures and techniques there. And some other industries are being taken up, which I will be presenting now. So coming to the food industry, as you know, each of the millets can be used in different types of food for making different types of food items. Like foxtail, you can go for porridge, pudding, I mean, bakery items, noodles. Similarly, proson, these are different types of food items that can be made from each of these millets. almost like you see, many of the millets can be put into ready to eat and also ready to cook type of food products. And there are mixed multigrain flours can be made by using multi-millet mixers with the different compositions, and also flakes can be made from all these. So like that, there is I mean, a wide variety of food items, snack items for whatever meal you say, for the starting from breakfast items, for lunch, evening snack, and dinner. So there are different items that are available for with all these millets. So okay. But only one thing is, it's not that anything, if you take it, like any variety can be made into any of the types. Like when you say flakes, pops, and semolina, biscuits, there are different items can be made, but not every variety can be made into these different types, because ultimately this thing is to be economical for a cultivator or the industrialist to take up in this activity, production activity, that should turn out to be economical. So it all depends on the grain quality of the variety. Like endosperm texture, that is one important aspect for any end product quality. First thing is endosperm texture. It can be soft, it can be hard, it can be medium. So three types of endosperm textures are available. Each type is like, for each product, we need a different type of endosperm texture. So grain hardness is very important, which again depends on the texture and also the starch quality. And amylose amylopectin ratio is another important aspect which is required, which defines the grain quality for different end products. And starch protein digestibility is important. And the phytate content, phytate, which is usually considered as an anti-nutritional thing. Okay. Anti-nutritional thing is being so how much it should be for each of the product type, that is different. So micronutrient density, to make it more for nutritional security, we need it micronutrient density to be in on higher side. And then now for malting and the other things, we need high diastatic power and for brewing industry. So for each type of industry, the requirement of the grain quality is different. Here I have put some examples, like if a variety is having a hard endosperm, it can be used for making the porridges and also steam cooked products, noodles, etc. So intermediate type of endosperm texture can go for unfermented bread, tortillas, semolina, the crunches like this. If the endosperm is soft, it can be used for development of fermented bread, injera. Injera is a type of food product which is very famous in Africa, and also biscuits, pasta. That's what I mean to say here is your quality of grain in terms of its endosperm texture, in terms of its hardness, and they all make, like amylose amylopectin ratio, they all define where it can go, what end product we can obtain from those things. Like yeah, different high starch gelatinization. Roasted flakes can be made if a variety is having high starch gelatinization. Similarly, waxy and heterovaxy sorghum, they can be used very well in the brewing industry and also bioethanol production, because here the digestibility is very high. If there are waxy endosperms have high digestibility. So soft endosperm with high tannin and diastatic activity, they can go directly for malting industry. So here the role of breeder here is to develop a variety with a defined set of characters, grain quality characters, to suit for each of the food type, product type. So that is the important thing here, to make it economically viable with the cultivators, economically viable with the industry. So now, yeah, for the ethanol, starch and ethanol industry, actually it is sorghum. I'll be giving the examples of sorghum here. Sorghum is actually an important raw material for both starch and ethanol industry. Here, one advantage is the grain damaged by insect, mold, usually grain of kharif sorghum can be used in the ethanol industry without any problem. So actually the functionality of starch granules, they all depend on these things: granule size and shape, hardness, as I said earlier, and the quality and quantity of starch, amylopectin ratio, and amylopectin structure. All these issues are aspect, they influence the starch granules, and ultimately the ethanol recovery depends on all these things. Actually, in the ethanol production, along with maize is a very good candidate, and the sorghum can be used along with maize, and which based on the rate, price of the produce and other things, but it is a good candidate for ethanol production. And as I said, waxy sorghums are, which are high in amylopectin, they are much suitable for ethanol production. And it's a DDGS, dried distillers grain with soluble. This is a co-product of starch and ethanol industry, and this is a very valuable compound which is having high polyphenols, and this can be used in the poultry feed very comfortably. It's a byproduct of starch and ethanol industry. Coming to the feed uses in the feed industry, the sorghum is used as feed for both the ruminants and also non-ruminants. So it is having almost 95 to 98% of the energy of corn. So it can be comfortably used as a supplement or a complement to maize in the poultry industry. And then even in the dairy rations also, sorghum can be comfortably used, because no difference in dry matter intake or milk yield, milk fat percentage, or gain in body weight. These were all found to be very normal, even the animal is fed with sorghum. And then as I said, grain and DDGS, the byproduct of starch and ethanol industry, can be used very comfortably in the poultry, and it is a very nutritious, like a nutrient-rich byproduct. It can be used. And in the feed industry, the important aspects that we have to look for is the, again, grain hardness, the fat content and composition, because energy level is very important there. This can be used, and the digestibility in terms of because amylose and amylopectin ratio, and then the protein content is important for poultry, and then the anti-nutritional factors like tannins, phytates, non-starchy polysaccharides and mycotoxins should be kept in mind while developing a variety for feed industry, because these anti-nutritional factors, they bind with the protein and starches and make them non-available. So it is important to see that they are in a lower level for poultry specifically. For animal feed, we don't have much problem, but for poultry, you need to see that that tannin content is very less and low phytates, and the mycotoxin levels are less. So again, protein and starch digestibility depends on the starch, protein, and the starch lipid complexes. As I said, for phytates, they hinder the availability of minerals. So you have to keep a watch on that while developing a variety for poultry. And waxy sorghums are more suitable because they are highly digestible. And the processed grain, usually processed grain has the nutritional value almost equal to corn. When the particle size is reduced while processing the grain for feed, reduced particle size improves the digestibility. So this is the 300 to 500 microns is the one which is recommended. And then there are different processing techniques also to improve the feed value of grain. Like these are different processing techniques. And besides the poultry and animal feed industry, There are reports that millets and sorghum can be used in the pet food industry and also aquaculture industry. So almost many pet food companies for both for dog and cat foods, they are using sorghum now in their formulations, feed formulations. The main reason there is the low glycemic index, rich antioxidant content, and also a reasonable level of dietary fiber. They make it suitable for that industry. And then the aquaculture industry, that is a very cost-effective protein source for that. And the DDGS, which is a byproduct of again starch and ethanol, is a very good feed for aquaculture. And besides feed industry, sorghum is being used in many bio-industrial products. Like it's a potential renewable source for bio-industrial products. It can be used for the development of edible bioplastic films, biodegradable and edible. The sorghum grain starch is being used for that. Then pericarp wax of the grain has the potential as bioplastic films and coating for food. For maintaining them or keeping them fresh for many days. It is used for because this is having the hydrophobic character. So it can be used for coating of the foods. And then wax from seed coat is used for making polishes for furniture polish and also shoe polish. And then wax, sealing wax and electrical insulators, etc. They can be used, prepared from wax of the seed coat. Then caffeine, which is a storage protein in sorghum, it is a very good choice for making bioplastic. And because this has more stability compared to gene of maize. And another industry is the food colorants and edible cutlery. Deoxyanthocyanidins, which are present in the sorghum grain, they are a very valuable source of natural colors. So natural food color can be extracted from sorghum, colored sorghums, from red sorghum especially. And then there are like edible cutlery that can be made from sorghum flour, and it is consumed. So there is no wastage of cutlery. Also, there is a I think in the net you can get, there is an industry which is manufacturing the edible cutlery from sorghum, and which is going on very well. So here at IIMR, we have been pursuing, or we have been looking at the multiple uses of millets in the different industries or different, wherever there are opportunity, like multiple uses of millets we are working on, and we are emphasizing on development of end product specific breeding. Like for each use of millet, we have to develop varieties for that. So which can, like here you can see that there are higher varieties which are suitable for coarse semolina. They have intermediate texture and like intermediate to hard endosperm texture. Similar for flour making, these are the varieties which have been identified, and they have a soft or intermediate flour endosperm and the finer particle size. Similar for popping, because here we need high amylose types. So these are the lines which have been identified with very good popping ability, and the bold grains with intermediate endosperm are suitable for that. Similarly, for roasted flakes like Ataragona Kumpujola, this bold grain with starch gelatinization property. And for Rabi, this is the best with these traits. So like that, we are looking at the development of varieties for each of the end use, whether it is food use or feed use or other uses. We are working on that. And also we have established the value chain on sorghum and millets, millet foods in the country. And we can show with different interventions like technological interventions, we could make convenience in the millet consumption or in millet product development and also the consumption. And we are propagating millets with nutritional and health benefits of that. So we're just popularizing them among the people, and the commercialization of millet value addition. And then there are many interventions that have been made at the farm, production, procurement, and processing, marketing, entrepreneurship development, the whole value chain. We are taking care of that at IIMR. So we have many linkages and MOUs with many big industries for the cause of millet propagation. So as you see here, as I said, these are the aspects that are being taken up to increase the demand for millets. The awareness of the health food and also for non-food uses like poultry, cattle feed, ethanol, which is on rise during recent years. And linking with the growers, the processor, linkages between growers and processors. So to enable assured market for the growers so that they will come forward to grow the crop, and then creating demand for diversified foods with through processing with nutritional labeling, and also value chain approach, shift from supply side to demand led production. So some of the these are some of the products so to increase the demand of the millet products, and under the brand name of Eat, we have developed many products which are ready to eat and also ready to cook type. And so for improving or increasing the popularization or increasing the productivity of millet production, so these are the factors that usually affect whether it has to go to industrial uses or whatever is the industry, any of the industry. So on supply side, the factor should be development of the right type of hybrids or varieties for the different industrial uses, and also improving the agronomic practices and other technical issues. That is these are the issues on the supply side which we are addressing here. And then the demand side, creation of awareness about the nutritional benefits, and also value chain model from end to end, everything, every link is to be worked out on value addition and development of value added products from millets. That is also being taken care. And the price factors which affect here for its utilization in different industries is actually only the major millets like sorghum, bajra, and ragi, they are covered under minimum support scheme of government of India. So there is a need to include other small millets also into this MSP. And the policy factors are the introduction of millet production in the public distribution system. If they come into PDS, the production side will be encouraged. And then midday meal scheme also creates substantial demand for these products. And then the important thing, what we are working, what is needed is the improvement of export competitiveness of millets, because many of the millets are grown in India only. So we need to improve the export competitiveness, and then promotion of FPOs, which is being taken up at a larger scale now, and creative farm gate processing and warehouse facilities, because when there is production, we should be able to store them for quite some time, process them. Processing is one important issue because the primary and secondary processing should be near to the producer so that he gets good price. So to promote millets for industrial users, what we need is identity preserved varieties and develop. We need to develop identity preserved varieties and hybrid for each specific use. So we should be able to name the variety, this variety is for this purpose, this variety is for this purpose. If we can develop that variety, there will be increased demand and it can be used economically. Then high productivity is definitely the number one priority, unless it gives good yield, so that the raw material is available at a cost effective manner. So high productivity is very important. And then resistance to biotic and abiotic stresses is also important for the crop to withstand. And good grain and stover quality are required from the crop. And the very important thing is the strengthening seed delivery systems. So whatever we produce or whatever we develop, unless the seed delivery system is very strong and unless there is a continuous supply of the input, it cannot stand in the industry. So the marketing support and seed production support are very important, and creating awareness is a very important aspect regarding its health and other benefits. And so the take-home message is millets have enormous opportunities in diverse industries. That is very well established. It can go to different industries, and there is we need to create and expand awareness of nutritional benefits, which is almost we are taking up at a very large scale now. And now the breeding programs should target for the correct combination of traits for each of the industry, which I already said, and that is the need of the day. And there is a need to develop high value foods which can be made with convenience. That is the thing again which is going on. Then availability of identity preserved genotypes, as I said, which is very important to make the whole thing is an economical process. Then identity preserved seed production systems. Ultimately, seed is a very important component for any, for anything to take up, seed is the most important thing. So the quality seed production is the one, and also marketing issues are the one to make millets very much suitable for the industrial users to propagate millets at that level. Thank you so much for your patience hearing. And then I just stop sharing now. Yes, Varna, I'm through.
Thank you, ma'am.